I had always wanted to take a solo camping trip. I've watched countless hours of people doing them on YouTube. And after I had saved up some money, I decided to buy all the gear I needed and headed to the nearby national forest. It was a 5-hour drive to get there, so I set off just after dawn. I listened to a few podcasts and sang my heart out for the rest of the way. The time flew by, especially as I got closer to arriving. The views were breathtaking. The mountains rose from the ground, towering over me. It was almost a frightening sight, but the clear water and falling autumn leaves washed any fear away. I arrived at the parking area just after midday. It was pretty empty, mainly due to it being the middle of the week in October. There were 2 or 3 cars, but it seemed like I would be unlikely to run into anybody, which was fine by me. I'm not really one for people. I like to keep myself to myself, and I would prefer going for a walk surrounded by nature, rather than be surrounded by obnoxious drunk people at a bar. I grabbed my backpack, which had pretty much everything I needed in it, and I started my hike into the forest. It was so peaceful. There was no sound of cars or machines, just birds chirping, and the wind blowing through the leaves of the trees. The leaves danced to the beat of a non-existent drum, and I found myself just standing there, transfixed by them. Something flew straight past my head, startling me. My heart began to race. I looked up to see a small, elegant swallow perched on a branch. I chuckled to myself and continued on with my hike. After about an hour, I came to a clearing. A vast lake with crystal clear water stood in front of me. I looked out, taking in the majestic scenery. Something made me stop looking. Out of the corner of my eye, I thought I had seen someone standing in the tree line about 50 yards back. Sharply turning around, I scanned the trees and couldn't see anything. It was probably another bird, I thought to myself. I hiked on for another few miles and found a small clearing. Huge trees towered over. Pretty orange and yellow leaves lay on the ground. It was as good a place as any, I thought. I grabbed the tent out of my large backpack and got to work setting it up. It was starting to get late by the time I had finished. I decided to make a fire and heat up some tomato soup that I had brought with me. Making the fire was easy. I had been camping with my father many times when I was younger. He would have loved this, the peaceful tranquility, surrounded by nature. He once said to me, "Jack, I feel at home in nature, and one day so will you. It's in our blood." He was right. I had never felt more at home than I did sitting there with the fire lit, the sounds of the occasional birds, and the still calmness of the woods. I rustled through my bag and found my phone near the bottom. There was barely any signal out here, but just enough that I had received a message from my sister asking if I had made it safely. I texted her back and set the phone down beside me. It was a little after 10 o'clock, so I decided to turn in for the night. I had another big day of hiking tomorrow. I got into the tent and zipped it up. It was only small, just enough room for one person, but that was all I needed. I had my sleeping bag, a book to read, and a flashlight attached to the top of the tent. I read my book for a while and fell asleep with the book still in hand. I woke up abruptly. I didn't know what it was, but I had a bad feeling in my stomach and shivers burrowed their way through my body. I reached next to me for my phone, but realized I had left it outside when I put it down earlier. I was about to get up and go out to find my phone when I saw a light coming from just inside the tent by the zip. I realized it was my phone. Maybe I had picked it up and it had slipped out of my pocket, I thought, trying to reassure myself. A minute later, the phone chimed. A new message appeared on the screen. It was from an unknown number. My hands began to tremble. I shakily unlocked my phone and opened the message. "I can see you. Why don't you come out and play?" My heart was thumping in my head. I was panicking. I didn't have any weapons with me. The best I could do was hit him with a flashlight, but that was not going to do much damage. I just sat there, not moving a muscle, trying to listen out for whether the person was nearby. I dialed 911 and told them my situation, making sure to whisper. They said they would dispatch someone immediately, but I knew it would take them hours to get here. The nearest police station was at least 2 hours away, and they would have to walk the rest of the way once they got here. After the call, another text came through from the same unknown number. "Don't be scared. The police won.